Yud Shevat Milestone, I was a month before my 20th birthday. A young bacher, and the Rebbe had sent me to Montreal. I was there for 4 years, Yud Ches, Yud Tes, Chof, Chof Aleph. And we were allowed to come in after being fahed in Nigla and Chassidus, which had to be signed on a paper and given into the Rebbe when you got there. Yud Shevat was a time of tremendous hisalos, a tremendous uplifting time. It was known as the Yortzeit of Viertige Rebbe, but more so the ascension of the Rebbe. Now, because it was the 10th year, there was a tremendous spirit of anticipation for all of us. Then, when it was just a couple of times a year, the Rebbe Daven Fanomid, it was Yud Shevat and Chafov, his father's Yortzeit. His mother was alive at that time. Down in the Shalash, I mentioned, it was cold. It was the middle of the winter, freezing. So the davening was upstairs in the Zal, and it was packed as it could be. It was heaven. It was mamish me'en olam haba, to be with the Rebbe's minyan in the davening. At the Farbrengen, to me it felt like this thousands. There probably were hundreds, maybe 1,000. It was, it was full. The hall was full. I was like what you would call bleachers. There weren't bleachers. I was just standing on a bench on the Rebbe's left side, hearing these sichos. There was no women's shul, but the women were like in the back, and prominently in the front was a chair, and there was the Rebbe Tzimchana, the Rebbe's mother. At the Farbrengen, because this was the 200th year of the Baal Shem Tov, in all Farbrengens, especially the large Farbrengens during the week, like Yud Tes Kislev, you could check there, it was totally about the Baal Shem Tov. Similarly, Yud Shevat, even though it was about the Frierdiker Rebbe, but it was all based on the teachings of the Baal Shem Tov. One of the examples is that the Baal Shem Tov's teaching about Tefillah Lo'oni Chiyatov, the poor person who wraps himself in prayer, V'lifnei Havaya, and before Hashem, he presents his prayer. What does it mean before Hashem? Lifnei Havaya can be translated as before, above, higher than Havaya. Now, nothing's higher than God, but Havaya, the name of Hashem, is the name. That's a revelation. And Atzmus is even higher. And there's a famous mashal of the Baal Shem Tov. The Rebbe was extremely emotional about the person who comes to see the king. And the more educated they are, the more they get sidetracked.
Und das ist dort, was die Meile von Tefillah Leoni, als was beter will. Lifnei Havaya Yishpach Sichei, ist Mevater und ist Nechel, die alle gute Sachen, was seinen Beyemes gut. Nur nie dort noch der Atmes HaMelech, wird beim Melech ein Sach, also kommen sein der Yishpach Sichei, Farem allein. Und bei Zemen in das Schneller Olo, Ado soll sein, die Gole soll sich nicht aufhalten bei den Jonim Schelifnite, in der Sache bei Non.
The whole Farbrengen was about this connection between the highest and the lowest. That the efforts that one does for people who seem to be the most remote really comes from the deepest aspects of Judaism. I began to learn Tanya in Tovshin Tes Vov in Camp Aguda. Then I went to a few Farbrengens in Tovshin Tes Zayin, and I was learning Tanya every week in Torah Vadas. So it came a day like Yud Shevat, and especially with the 10th year, I felt tremendously grateful to Hashem for bringing me to the people and to the Rebbe who saw what it's all about.